Hey, once again, everybody, it is Thursday evening. It's Weather for Weather Geeks time. Another day that felt more like November. I turned my heat on. I finally gave in this morning and turned on my heat briefly. When I got up, it was pretty chilly in my place, so I did turn on the heat briefly, and I'll probably turn it on when I get home again tonight because, it is definitely a little November preview, and of course we had a dry end of the day today, and drought and rainfall totals have been a story now since late summer. The beginning of summer was very wet. The end of summer and start of fall was quite dry, so we've been talking about the drought monitor of late, and this gets updated every Thursday. Not a big change from last week, generally speaking, in parts of northeast Ohio, especially northern Ohio, up around the Cleveland, Akron, Canton area. We are in a moderate drought there. Really no change in our local area. The same areas that were categorized in the abnormally dry zone last week are in that zone again. This week we did have some beneficial rains earlier on this week that certainly helped us out some, but to get out of that abnormally dry designation, we're going to need more rain than we just had. Look at all the real estate that's covered by way below average precipitation over the last 2 months. This goes back 60 days, so roughly to the middle of August, and wow, especially down across the southeast, the Carolinas, mid-Atlantic states, very, very dry in those locales. Now, over the last 30 days, since mid-September, we've done a little bit better locally, especially in our driest area, southern Mahoning, Columbia, and a little bit better over the last 30 days. But again, this takes into account what's occurred over the last 60 days. A couple of areas have seen above average precipitation over the last 2 months, parts of Trumbull County, parts of Mercer County as well. But that's the exception. Vast majority of us have seen below average rainfall over the last 2 months. All right, in more recent times here, over the last 10 days or so, almost 2 weeks. We've had some warm days, sure, but wow, today was a chilly one. Now, yesterday's high of 60, that was an early morning high. Of course, we spent the afternoon in the 40s. Today's high of 47 did occur at kind of usual time in the afternoon, making it our coolest high temperature for any calendar day since mid to late spring. Mid-spring, more like April. So it's been a long time since we've had a day quite as chilly from start to finish as we had today. That deck of stratocumulus clouds hung tough most of the day. Now, at the last minute, towards 5, 6, 7 o'clock, we did see some of these stratocu clouds kind of breaking up enough to allow for some intervals of sun, but that was pretty late in the day. Most of the day was what you see is what you get on this time lapse. It was pretty cloudy. I did not want to show you that graphic of Texas rain, so let's skip past that. I grabbed the wrong graphic. What I did want to show you is this. The radar is pretty quiet across a lot of the eastern two-thirds of the country this evening. Our big area of low pressure, a bomb cyclone, if you will, is still maneuvering up across Atlantic Canada, far northern New England. Lots of power outages, all sorts of problems in New England today. And this is partly responsible for our gusty winds that we had earlier on today. Now, where the sky is clearing and the wind is going calm, frost is a concern tonight in some pretty far south latitudes, all the way down into the western part of North Carolina, up into parts of Tennessee around the Smoky Mountains, and then heading up into the Ohio Valley, and even freeze warnings out for parts of Michigan. Tomorrow night's our night that we might have some frost to contend with, although I still don't think we see a hard freeze anytime real soon. Now, this deck of clouds will probably hang tough through the midday hours tomorrow. Not necessarily buying the showers the model's trying to spit out here. I guess I can't rule out a sprinkle tomorrow morning, but don't think we're looking at rain really in most places tomorrow. It's just clouds kind of winning the battle through about midday. Then, as our high builds in, the sky will clear. It'll be just fine for high school football tomorrow evening, and a nice weekend is on the way with some sunshine Saturday. By the way, there's a tropical system that is kind of a hybrid system that's going to bring some beneficial rains to the Carolinas and parts of the mid-Atlantic states late in the weekend and early next week, but that's going to miss us to the south and east. That means our weather stays pretty benign all the way through Sunday and Monday. So here's our weekend forecast. All right, 61 Saturday, just a hair above average, but about 10 degrees above average on Sunday, with readings approaching 70. There'll be some fair weather clouds. I've removed any chance of rain from Sunday's forecast. So yeah, if you need to rake the leaves, blow the leaves, do anything outdoors this weekend, I think the weather will cooperate after a chilly start on Saturday. Let's talk once again about the longer range as we get into the second half of October. Next week is going to be a lot of back and forth. Yes, a cool down's coming, a little reinforcing shot of cool tomorrow night as the sky clears. Yes, Saturday starts out cold, but then a nice temperature recovery over the weekend, and actually will probably peak in the low 70s early next week. And then we step back to about average for a couple of days, maybe even above average towards the end of next week. So it's a little back and forth for the next week. But then that final 6 to 7 days of October and the run up to Halloween, consistently cold weather looks to be the rule as a trough of low pressure dominates across the eastern part of the country. I think we're going to see a lot of high temperatures in the 40s during that stretch, and our first legitimate chances of some hard freezes, I suspect, coming our way at the very end of October. We have not hit 32 yet at the airport, so the growing season is still active officially here. Most gardeners have called it quits for the year, of course, but technically we are still in the growing season until we hit that first 32 of the fall season. Again, it's not coming over the next week, but the following week I think we'll have some chances of seeing some upper 20s, lower 30s during the nighttime hours. All right, thanks for watching Weather for Weather Geeks tonight, and this week look for a new Eric's Weather Y, Wilhelm's Weather Y, I guess is what we're calling it, online this evening. I'll post that on social media and WFMJ.com before the evening is through, and more in-depth Weather for Weather Geeks videos coming your way next week, Monday through Thursday.